This information you are about to hear and perhaps view, these are not necessarily the thoughts or the ideas of Gary C.Clement or the Gary Clement Radio Show podcast. We are in no way, shape, or form affiliated with the parties this story is about or was interviewed for. Parts of this content may not be owned by or the property of the Gary Clement Radio Show podcast, G2 Network Media, or any other company we are affiliated with, and this information is strictly the opinion of those being interviewed. This content is for information purposes only, and although we may make reference to various news stories, we share our own independent beliefs about the content and provide our own opinions. Please enjoy the information. Hi, welcome to the Gary Clement Radio Show and podcast. In the 1990s, it was a different kind of world for R&B music. The music was not just good, but it was great. And one of the artists to help shape that period in time and deliver some of the hits was the artist by the name of Danny Boy, who assisted artists such as Tupac to rise to fame and to the top of the charts. So he's here today to talk about his life, his career, and what's happening now. So we welcome Danny Boy. How are you?
I am well, sir. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
First of all, just tell us a little bit about your life growing up, please.
As you said, my name is Danny Boy. That's my real name, Danny Boy Stewart. Born and raised in Chicago. Just a church boy with the aspirations of singing, with a heart for singing. Come from a singing family, and with those dreams, I had an opportunity to go to California at a young age, at the age of 15, and I signed my first deal to Suge Knight and DefRow Records.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And here I am today, still trying to kick it in the game and put out some music.
I hear you. Okay. So now, growing up in the church or whatnot, in Chicago years ago, what kind of church are we talking about exactly? What was the faith there?
It was church, like straight up Baptist is the church that I came from. I come from a church family, always going to church. I mean, church was practically my life growing up. We didn't just go to church on Sundays. We went to church every time there was a program at the church, and that was at least 3-4 times a week.
Right. I hear you. Okay. And as far as the congregation and, your family or whatnot, when you, like you said, signed a deal and stuff with DefRow, what was the talk there? What was the concern there?
Well, I come from the choir. My family was a singing family, and I come from the choir, and my mother happened to be the nurses' aide the president of the nurses' aide for the pastors. And when I went down to California and I had an opportunity to release my first record, a record off of the Murder Was a Case soundtrack, my mother went to church, I heard, and went to showing everybody that vinyl, showing off. I got a lot of support, from the neighborhood that I come from as well, from my church family as well.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's interesting. Okay. Now, and another thing too, being from Chicago, and being a young kid, a black man, or basically, now, there's been a lot happening in regards to young men or whatnot with guns and gangs and all those kinds of things and stuff in Chicago. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Oh, absolutely. I see it firsthand. I come from the what people would call the hood. I come from that, and not only that, even in my days now, I work in a family-owned funeral home, so I get an opportunity to see it firsthand all the time. Get an opportunity to see these brothers and sisters getting killed in these streets of Chicago.
Wow, that's very interesting. Wow, and I'm pretty sure, like you said, a lot of them you probably know them, personally.
Well, I don't really know them. But I grow to know the families, by working in the funeral home. You get a chance to learn these people's story.
Right. I see. I got you. Okay. So DefRow Records, just tell me exactly, how did that situation come about from the beginning?
I was with an independent company out of Chicago, and we were shopping a deal to be on a label. I was out there to meet with some more record company people, Motown, and a couple other people to showcase my talents for. And I didn't get an opportunity to make it to the office because we stopped by Interscope Records, and Suge Knight was there.
Mm-hmm.
And he told the guy that I was with, he said, bust something. He thought I was gonna rap.
Mm-hmm.
And after I began singing, he told the guy that was brought me there to get a deal. He said, "Man, you don't got. I want him. You ain't got to take him nowhere."
Right.
I didn't get an opportunity to make it to the next meeting.
Wow. Wow. Okay. So, what was your initial reaction of Suge Knight just from the first time you met him?
Incredible, big guy.
Mm-hmm.
I hadn't heard any of the stories at that time. That a lot of people put on him later in the years.
Mm-hmm.
But just a huge guy, man. That if anybody knew anything about the '90s and that they were like the Death Row Records was like the Motown of the '90s.
Mm-hmm.
So but meeting him was really incredible because he gave me an opportunity to do my music and treated me well.
I see. Hmm. Very interesting. Okay. So, the first time your mother or your family met him, what did they think?
My mother didn't get an opportunity to meet him. My mother was actually sick in Chicago still.
Mm-hmm.
She had a triple bypass,
Wow.
and she had allowed me to go out to California alone.
Mm-hmm.
And but I think he was in great grace with my mom. Suge was,
Mm-hmm.
because during that time he let her know that I'll be taken care of while I was there. And at a time when my mother got really sick in the hospital, he sent her a bunch of flowers.
Mm-hmm.
And I later found out that he did it, but I think my mom was just excited for me getting the opportunity.
I see. I see. I got you. Okay. Um, I guess, like I said, as time went on, you put your first single out. You put the first project out with Death Row, and it charted well. What was your reaction to how that was going to work?
Well, I was excited because that was my first ride, and everything Death Row was putting out anyway was getting an opportunity to see the light. So that's a feeling that you really can't explain. Having these dreams of doing something,
Mm-hmm.
and then just popping off like that and being with some of the best to ever do it is what I was excited about.
I see. Okay. Now, at what point did everything go wrong or go the opposite way?
The demise of Death Row happened a little bit after Tupac died and Suge Knight got locked up.
Mm-hmm.
Things went left. Obviously, Suge being away, a lot of the dynamics of the business changed. In the inside of the business.
Mm-hmm.
Behind closed doors, and things changed drastically.
I hear you. And I guess at this time, where were you in the process of, I guess you could say as an employee of the company, or what was where did you end up, or how did that affect you basically?
Well, Suge Knight was my legal guardian after
Okay.
my mom passed.
Mm.
So I felt like I lost, something like a big brother or a father, after the demise of Death Row Records.
Mm-hmm. I see. I see. Okay. And Tupac, talk a little bit about your relationship with Tupac, please.
Absolutely. That's my boy. Uh, Out of the 11, 12 months of me knowing him, uh, really incredible dude, such a light, a teacher, a big brother. I learned so many things in that short amount of time. And to receive the opportunity that he allowed me and other artists that was on the label that practically no one ever heard of.
Mm-hmm.
He put us all over his record and gave us an opportunity. And I'm forever grateful for that.
I see. Okay. As far as the music that was recorded, if you could give me a rundown of the different songs or whatnot that you all recorded, actually.
Absolutely. I recorded on the All Eyes on Me album. I did Picture Me Rolling, Heaven Ain't Hard to Find, What's Your Phone Number? I Ain't Mad at You is one to be the one that really has been a blessing where people remember me from. And the biggest album is I Ain't Mad. I'm sorry, and Toss It Up off of the Machiavelli album.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool. Cool. All right. So as far as your own personal projects or whatnot, today you have a new project out. Tell us the title of that and the songs or whatnot there.
Yes, I do. I have more information about my life on death row, which is in my book, Stranded on Death Row. It's available on Barnes and Nobles and Amazon. And the album that I have out right now is called Black Heart. I have a single that's doing pretty well. It's number 10 on the adult Billboard chart. It's called This Song, and I'm just excited about it.
Okay, cool. And I was just getting ready to actually ask you and stuff about your book too, to just tell us a little bit, give us an overview and stuff of the book.
Oh, yeah, the name of the book is called Stranded on Death Row, and it's just a journey about my life, the journey about this musical thing that I've been going through. And I talk about my experiences of recording. Everybody wanted to know what it was like working with Tupac and, being Suge Knight's protege and just being up under him. And it's just amazing to be able to share that information. It's not a tell all, it's a share all.
I see.
Just about every aspect of the music that I've done and friendships and different things like that. I've went into some of those details to share with the people.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Now, back in the day when you recorded, of course, you would go to a studio and, with other artists and just, do your recordings and stuff in the booth, that kind of thing. Now, a lot of it has changed and whatnot because of technology. How has technology changed, you and changed what you do now?
Oh, I love it because we can get that sooner now.
Mm-hmm.
The music get there sooner. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to wait overnight. These sessions can happen just, you being at your house and me being in mine. So
Right.
I love it, and I'm so grateful for social media, something that I wish the '90s had to capture those moments, a TikTok or a Snapchat or Instagram or tweet. I was able to tweet some of those incredible moments that I talk about today.
Okay, cool. What do you not like about social media?
It destroyed a lot of people, a lot of families, a lot of friendships, a lot of love ships, because people kind of get the social media life mixed up with reality.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Okay. So beyond just, doing your music thing, I understand that you also have a restaurant. Talk a little bit about that for us.
Yes, I do. I am known as the singing chef. I'm out of myself as the singing chef, and I have a food that's a kiss of culture. I have a Tupac burger, a Bernie macaroni, Anita Baker beans, Snoop bacon cheddar Snoop Dogg. I name them after artists I've either worked with or look up to.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Cool. Very good. Interesting. Okay. I guess. And what is your favorite food to cook? I guess.
I love cooking steak. I don't serve steak, but I love cooking steak. I guess because that's one of my favorite meals.
I hear you. Okay. And I was going to actually ask you or whatnot too about your relationship with former death row artists, including Snoop as well as some of the other guys. What's going on there? Tell me about your relationship with them.
Well, Snoop Dogg, we've been in contact the last few months through social media, and he sent a lot of blessings towards my music and told me that he really liked my song, and I see the things that he's doing with Death Row. I'm just happy to see Death Row going forward. Our music from Death Row time, it was kind of taken down off of all platforms. It's put back up. So I'm happy to see that legacy live on. Some of the other artists, Rage, the Dog Pound Rage, I love her. I've talked to her recently, but some of the other artists I really haven't heard from.
I see. I got you. Okay. So I guess going back to the days of death row, do you regret anything? Do you miss anything? How do you feel?
I regret not knowing enough. This is a business and it's just what it is. I've always wanted to be an entertainer. I wish I would have gotten the aspect of it. It's great to entertain, but it's great to be a part of the music business. And that's totally understanding the full word, understanding that it's music and understanding that it's business. I wish I would have learned, but I was young. I'm grateful for the time that I'm in right now where, I know the things I tell everybody I went to Death Row University, so I'm able to use some of the things that I've learned, from that time and apply it now.
I see. Okay. I guess, when you look back also, do you feel taken advantage of in any kind of way?
Absolutely. To be 15 years old and not really have anyone look out for my best interest because that was some hungry days. But, God seen me through it. And I guess that come from my beginnings, me talking about being a church boy and coming up in church. I thank God for that thank God for how my mother and grandmother and my dad brought me up, where I'm able to withstand the test of time. And I'm glad that God still allowed me the gift of music to carry singing, where I'm able to get that opportunity again to try it again and to hopefully have that opportunity again.
I see. I got you. Okay, cool. So other than your restaurant, your book, creating new music, what else is going on in your life?
I have some documentary that we're about to put into the works. I'm excited about that. Hopefully some film or movie people start calling, because I'm looking to just get busy. I'm happy to have the energy that I have, being an adult. And that's really it.
I see. Okay, cool. So for those that want to follow you to find out more about you, what are your social media handles?
My social media handle, you can follow me on Facebook, which is just Danny Boy, or follow me on Instagram as Danny Boy Stewart. If you can't find none of that, just go find me on the internet, and it's really simple. It's just GoDannyBoy.com, GoDannyBoy.com.
We really do appreciate our guests who participated in this episode, and we hope you learned something that will bless your day and your life. For all who are interested in learning more about the Gary Clement Radio Show podcast, please visit www.amazon.com and order my book, The Gary Clement Radio Show, When Strong Afro-American Men and Women Stand Up. It covers everything about us and features a variety of Afro-American personalities who speak out about the importance of education and literacy in the Black community. Well, we thank you for tuning into our podcast. Please send us your email address so we can contact you when we have new releases and new episodes and new projects as well. You can reach us at gccpresents@yahoo.com. And also, if you're interested in submitting any materials or want to get in touch with us, please do so by simply sending an email to gccpresents@yahoo.com. That's G as in Gary, C as in Charlie, C as in Charlie, presents@yahoo.com. So until next time, do take care. And this is a G2 Network Media production.